out here. We got to earn the kingdom. The same way you got to earn the college degree. It ain't just going to happen and just show up at our door and heaven going to knock on our door and say, okay, heaven is here, come on in. It don't happen like that. We got to work for it by being obedient children, and that's by keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Read what you got.
Neither shall they say, lo here, or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you.
In the book of Matthew chapter 7, verse 21, Hebrew, read what you got.
It's the book of Psalms, 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Now God showed this word to Jacob and Israel. Read,
He have not dealt so with any nation.
He have not what?
He have not dealt so with any nation.
God have not dealt so with any other nation. Read,
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
And for God's judgments, the other nations, which is the heathen, don't know God's judgments. That's why they're constantly killing us. What law or commandment do the heathen follow? They stole this country, so they steal. They definitely kill. They killing us. We got the Black Lives Matter movement. It's to that point, right? They break every law and commandment that's in this book, but they got the nerve to say that they're the good people of the book. Hypocrites. You got what I want up? Here's what you got.
The book of Matthew chapter 7 and verse 21.
I got you.
The book of Matthew chapter 7 and verse 21. Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Read that one more time from the top, Hebrew.
The book of Matthew chapter 7 and verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Not everyone that say, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. You must be keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments to get the kingdom. Give me the book of John chapter 9, verse 31, Hebrew. That's it on that? Give me John 9:31. John 9:31. Read what you got.
But he that doeth the will of my Father.
He that do what?
But he that doeth the will of my Father.
Not everyone that say, Lord, Lord, is going to get the kingdom of heaven, but those that do the will of the Father. Read up.
Which is in heaven. Many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?
It's going to be the pastors right here. This is a personal passage for the pastors. What are you going to say?
Many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?
That's what the pastor is going to say. Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? Read,
And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works.
And what is the Messiah going to say to them?
And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
I never what?
I never knew you.
I never what?
I never knew you.
See that? We got to earn the kingdom of heaven, man. It's either two options, right? It's the lake of fire or to get the kingdom of heaven. Point blank, period. All right? And it's a beautiful thing to come on this side, man, and worship the Most High God, man. Because guess what? We can pray and get our prayers answered. We ain't got to pray for things and then it ain't happening. And all of a sudden you questioning God. We do that because we truly don't know him. Read what you got,
It's the book of John, chapter 9, verse 31. Now we know that God heareth not sinners.
What the Bible say?
Now we know that God heareth not sinners. But if any man be a worshiper of God and doth his will,
and do his what?
And does his will, him he heareth.
So you got to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments for God to even hear you. Because, as we say, our people is in the midst of sin daily.
That's
right? And then when we find ourselves in a harsh predicament or a bad situation, now all of a sudden we run into the Most High God. But he's not answering us. He's not giving us the things that we want because we're not doing what he wants.
That's right.
You see that?
That's right.
Read what you got. Let's find out how to get our prayers answered. Read what you got, Hebrew.
The book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
What did God say?
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
God only speaks to the obedient children that is keeping his law. You see that? So now, give me the book of 1 Corinthians 3:16. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Right? Give me Acts 7:48. Acts 7:48. Acts 7:48. All right? The Water Kings. Come, we'll take it. All praises. All praises. And these is our brothers right here, man. These brothers is keeping God's laws and commandments too. And you see how we look out for one another, man. These brothers come through and make sure we straight every Sabbath, man. Every time we see them. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's what God said, let brotherly love continue.
That's right.
But our people do not know. You see that? We don't understand that thing. We show hatred to our brother. Go ahead and get the alms. Read what you got.
The book of Tobit, chapter 12 and verse 9. For alms doth deliver from death.
Alms deliver from death. Read up.
And shall purge away all sin.
And shall do what?
And shall purge away all sin.
Alms deliver from death and shall purge away all sins. That's another way to get you a clean slate right there. You see that? By giving alms, giving to your people. Read up.
Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life.
You see that? Give me. Oh, go ahead and grab another one, Doc. 748. What you got? Because we got to understand what alms is. And alms is not always giving money. Alms is giving food. Alms is doing work for your loved one or a person that you don't know without pay. If you work for somebody with pay, that's not alms in God's eyes. You see that? You got paid for your works. But if we look out for one another, if we see somebody doing bad or somebody doing down, for instance, somebody painting a house, but it's your brother, right? You could go over there and volunteer to help him out. And you know what I'm saying, get a paintbrush and start helping him with his house and be like, no, I don't want no pay from you. I don't want no money. I just want to help you out of love. That's alms. You see that? So never look at alms always to be money. And that's what all people do up in the Christian church because that's where we got it from. Right? Read what you got.
The book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 8. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly.
What the Bible say?
If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly.
So if you got a lot of money, go ahead and give accordingly. Read up.
If thou have but a little,
now if you have a little,
be not afraid to give according to that little.
Don't be afraid to give to that little, because this is what all people do. All people have $5 in their pocket, right? And they'll say, I don't want to give up my last $5, right? Because they need that $5, but they don't understand the blessing, the true blessing that you're going to get for giving that $5 or giving $2 out of that $5. You ain't got to get a whole thing. You see that? That's what true alms is.
That's right.
Now, when you go to church, go ahead, read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 35 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering. He that requireth a good turn offereth fine flour, and he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise. To depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Lord, and to forsake unrighteousness is propitiation. Reading down, the sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. Give the Lord his honor with a good eye, and diminish not the first fruits of thy hands. In all thy gifts show a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness.
Dedicate thy what?
And dedicate thy tithes with gladness.
Dedicate thy tithes with gladness. Now, tithes is food. You with me? The church say tithes is money. They say you got to get 10% of that thing too. But this tithes is all from when we was ruling as a people. All right, when our forefathers, King David, King Solomon was in power. That's when alms, because we owned all the land. We had all the cattle. We had all the vineyards, the fruit. All right, we planted the seeds. That's what. Go ahead, read what you got, Art.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 22.
Bring it out.
Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed.
Thou shalt do what?
Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year.
The field bringeth tithe is something that the field bringeth forth year by year. We plant grapes year by year. We plant fruits, vegetables year by year. You see that? Read up.
And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there.
God said we shall eat that first. That's tithing. We shall eat. Do you eat money? Do you just try to chew up some coins? Because that's not what it's talking about. But the pastor made it about money. You see that? Read what you got, Art.
The tithe of thy corn, of thy wine.
Now this is what true tithing is, according to the Bible. Read up. Of the corn and wine from the wine press. Read up.
And of thine oil, and the firstlings of thy herds.
The cattle. We have to give. If we had it like that, we had to give 10%. So if any Israelites was going without a home or without food, the The Levites, which is the Levitical priests, at the time they ruled over all of the children of Israel, and they made sure everybody got a portion. Everybody ate. There wasn't nobody out here without a home. You see that? It wasn't nobody out here that was starving for food. Everybody had abundance when it came to the children of Israel. Read up.
Salakia. And Salakia. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 14 verse 23. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there, the tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the firstlings of thy herds, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee,
if the way be too long for you, if you travel, just say we had to pay tithes and it was too long. Okay, we downtown. Let's just say it was kind of too long to go to Monroeville to take that tithes. Let's find out what we have to do.
And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it.
If we weren't able to carry it, we could carry money. They got visas now. We could always take money, but it wasn't never about money. It was about food. So when you have food, you had to put it in the back pot. You had to put it on top of the back of an instrument with a cowless or ox is carrying it, right? To take it to where they got to play, or horses on the carriage. Okay, this is how we got food back and forth to the priests, to the Levites, which is your Haitians today. Read up.
So that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money.
Then shalt thou do what?
Then shalt thou turn it into money.
Then thou shalt thou turn it into money and ship it off to where they could get it to where it need to go. But it always got to the Levitical priests. And like I said before, the Levitical priests made sure everybody eat. Everybody, it wasn't no jealousy amongst the 12 tribes of the house of Israel.
That's right.
Especially not how it is today. We are in the end days, and God told us that it would be like this in the end days. Matter of fact, drop that and give me the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. Read on, Doc.
Then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shalt go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen or for sheep.
For what?
For oxen or for sheep.
So they took that money to even buy more food. Read up.
Or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth, and thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household.
See that? So that's what true tithing is according to the Bible, right? It's not money. Tithing was never money. Now, alms is money when it comes to the Bible. Or like I said before, you doing a good deed for your brother without charging him no money. A lot of our people don't do that today. They won't even help their own grandma. Grandma got a house, right, and the grass need cuts. The young men are 16 to 20. They'll go over grandma's crib, but they refuse to cut that grass. Look, grandma want me to cut the grass. Grandma gonna have to give up a couple of dollars, man. I ain't cutting the grass for free. That's how these young men think today, man. That ain't how it was when we were back in our day. We had to do the grass for free, right? We had to take out the trash for free. We looked out for her. Aunt Cynthia wanted something. We had to go down and hook up Aunt Cynthia. It wasn't always no money, but today, these kids are so rebellious, they charge for everything. They don't care about if it's your grandma. They don't care if it's your mom, your brother. They need that money. They ain't doing nothing for free. Our people is lazy today. Read up.
The book of Exodus chapter...
I wanted to bring this up. Hold that what you got. Go ahead and read that. Let's see what God said in the last days it'll be like, King. I'm going to give you this flyer. On this flyer is a YouTube channel. It's highlighted, all right? WFI Pittsburgh. So you familiar with YouTube? Yeah. Okay, you just type in WFI Pittsburgh, and this will come up right here, okay? You can learn from it. Yeah. The scriptures we bring out, grab your Bible, pause it, flip to what we call, and go over and see if it matches for yourself. That's how we learn. Thank you, brother. All right, read up. Now let's find out how our people are today, in today's society. Read up.
It's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days.
In the what?
In the last days.
What?
In the last days.
In the last days. Read up.
Peerless time shall come. For men shall we, Salakia, for men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Men shall be lovers of their own selves. That's a lot of selfishness coming on today, right? That's what we just talking about. Our people ain't doing nothing for free, right? Read up.
Covetous, boasters, proud blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy.
Unthankful. Our people is unthankful for things and unholy. You see that? Read up.
Without natural affection.
Ain't no natural affection. Ain't no natural affection in the household. Read up. Everybody cheating on one another. Go ahead.
Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
Despisers of those that are truly good. Right? Everybody like people that sin. Like people that's down and doing what the world is doing. People ain't trying to stand out and be different the way God told them to be. Read up.
Exactly. Traitors, heedy, Salakia. Traitors, heedy, high-minded.
They high-minded, especially our women. That's why they got that makeup and all this hair and all that, because they get them high-minded and makes them look pretty. So now all of a sudden they get high-minded. They don't like to rock their natural, you know what I'm saying, their natural beauty. Our sisters is beautiful. A lot of them don't need makeup. Makeup is for the other nations. You see that? Yeah. That's why it was created for. But our people so much of followers now, we want to do it. So now our princesses walking around with all this stuff on their face. Go ahead, Doc.
Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God.
And our people love pleasures, things of pleasures, things that are of God. All right, partner, go ahead. All right. So our people love the things of this world, and they take away God. They don't believe in God. Even though they go to church, they still partying, turning up, doing every wicked thing under the sun, and then they go to church on Sunday and get deceived and think that that's doing something. You see that, King? That's it on that. Right? So these are the things that we got to come back to. Now we got to get into some laws, okay? Now go back to Acts chapter 7:48. Give me the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16, Hebrew. Yes, sir, because we got to understand, man. We got to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, man. This is how we be obedient to the Most High God. This is how we please the Most High God. This is how we show favor to ourselves by pleasing the Most High God. Read what you got, Doc.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High?
Now God say, know ye not that you are the temple of God. We are the temple of God. The temple of God is not a church house as your pastors made us to believe.
That's right.
You see that? They made us think that the church house, every church out here is God's temple. We got to get from the top, Hebrew.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you?
The Spirit of God dwelleth in you. But the Spirit of God cannot dwell in you if your temple is defiled. How is your temple can be defiled? By smoking, whether it's tobacco, marijuana, right? Whether it's drugs, coke, dope, and methamphetamine, all that. That destroys our body. Even we got a dietary law to keep. So we can't pit pork. We're not allowed to eat pork. Did you know that? Okay. So we ain't allowed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, mussel, shark, none of that. We ain't allowed to put none of that in our temple, because if we do, the Holy Spirit can't dwell in your temple. And when Yahweh shall crack that sky, you will be called to that lake of fire, man. This thing is serious. We are in the last days. We must understand that. Matter of fact, go ahead and read out.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 17. If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy.
If any man defile the temple, which is your body, read that part one more time, huh?
If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy.
Him shall God destroy. We don't want to be destroyed, especially if we in the know. Now, people that's out of the know because they don't want to know and just being straight up rebellious against God, that's on them. They deserve to get the lake of fire.
That's right.
But the people that's in the know, we got to do what the God says so we get that kingdom, man. And it's a great thing that get the kingdom. Do you know what was coming to the people that get the kingdom? Let's find out. Give me what I want, Daniel 2 verse 27. Give me Revelation 2:26. Revelations 2:26 and Daniel chapter 7 verse 27. Let's find out what we got to look forward to, okay? Let's see what we got to look forward in the kingdom. Let's see what the kingdom is going to be like for us. Because God said our mind can't comprehend what his heaven is like. Read what you got, Doc.
The book of Daniel chapter 7 and verse 27. and the kingdom, and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Now, the kingdom of heaven shall be given back to the people of the Most High, the saints. Read that one more time, Mark.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Now let's find out who the saints is. You know what I want, Psalms 148:14. Let's find out who the saints are, because the Bible breaks down everything that's in here. All right, we can read it. It's a dictionary on top of that, in the midst of it. Right. So now we're going to find out who the saints are. Read out.
The book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14.
Bring it out.
He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel.
Even go back to a old English word. It's a Greek word, okay? It means indeed. 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 Read out from the top, huh?
The book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel.
Indeed, the children of Israel. Read out.
A people near unto him, praise ye the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
And only the Israelites is near unto God. You with me? Only we are near unto him, the obedient children. Now go back and read what you got from the top. Now this is where we got to look forward to in heaven. Read out.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
How long?
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
How long?
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
You see that? So we're going to get this whole earth is going to be ours. And the Messiah is going to be ruling. Go ahead and read what you got, Doc.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end.
He that overcome and keeps God's works unto the end, his laws, statutes, and commandments. Read.
To him will I give power over the nations.
He going to give us power over the nation.
That's right.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
We shall do what?
He shall rule them with a rod of iron.
And we're going to rule all oppressors with a rod of iron. You see that? The Messiah's coming back for payback. But we don't know this because the church is too busy teaching us that God loves everybody. And God is deceived. You see that, King? This is the truth. Give me the book of, give me John 8:32 real quick. Read what you got.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed.
So God gonna set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed. That kingdom is coming down. You seeing it right now. COVID hit, right? Yeah, they coming down, right? They on the midst of raging war right now, man. You got Iran involved, right? You got China involved. You got Russia involved. Right now, Russia is on the border of Ukraine, right? And they got over 32,000 armored artillery vehicles, man. They got tanks and rocket launchers type vehicles, and they all about to go into Ukraine. You don't move that type of force just to bluff somebody, right? They going to do some work. And this is Russia. But Ukraine got America on their side. They got NATO, right? And NATO and America is telling Russia not to act, but Russia is telling America and NATO to get out of their way. So we don't understand that this world is about to be destroyed. We just don't know it because we don't watch the news. But God told us to watch and pray. So as we study this Bible from week after week, we also watch what's going on in the whole world to watch and see what prophecies is coming to pass. All right? What you got?
The book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
That shall stand for how long?
And it shall stand forever.
Because the Messiah is coming back, man. Let me get that in the book of Isaiah chapter, you know what I want, 66:15. You holding something? Go ahead, read that out.
It's the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth.
And ye shall know the truth, King. You getting this truth right now.
And the truth shall make you free.
And that's what makes us free. The truth makes us free, King. We still trapped in our mind because we don't have the truth. We don't know that we God's chosen people. We don't know that we're the Israelites and the kingdom is coming to us. We don't even know how soon this earth is about to be destroyed. You know World War III is documented in the Bible? Okay, all praises. Read that one more time from the top, Hawk.
It's the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. But our people is so much being deceived to the point where our people walk up out of the church. And you may have Sister Jenkins tell Sister Barbara, ooh, the pastor teach a good sermon. The truth shall make you free. But they just came out of being deceived. You see how deceived our people are? The church did a number on our people, man. And the pastors, it's written all about the pastors, what they doing to our people. Did you know that was in there?
I see some of it when I read it, yeah.
You see that, man? Yeah. God got a punishment for the pastors, man, for leading his people astray. What's that? Okay, go read what you got.
The book of Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
Now, the Lord is going to crack that sky. It's going to happen. He's going to come back with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Read on.
To render his anger.
To render his what?
To render his anger.
He's coming back angry. Read on.
To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh.
By fire and his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. I thought the Lord was coming back for hugs and kisses, King. And that was the Christian church pastors that taught us. He's coming back to save everybody, but he's coming back with a sword. Give me the book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Read what you got, Art.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 31.
Bring it out.
It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
Read that one more time, Hebrew.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. Our people don't truly know how destructive God is. He created war down here. He put us in slavery for disobeying him. But we don't take comprehension to these things. That's right. You see that? Read what you got, Art.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 34.
Let's see what our Lord is coming back to. And by the way, that's in red letter. This is in red letter. So this is the Messiah speaking. He's speaking on when he's going to come back. And let's see what he says. Read, Art.
Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
What did he say?
Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
He said, think not that I have come to send peace on earth, but what?
But a sword.
But a what?
But a sword.
But a what?
But a sword.
A sword is a weapon. He just said he's coming with fire, with his chariots like a whirlwind to wringer his anger. You think God has forgotten with the people who did that persecuted him? You think he forgot about that? Right? Come on, man. Our people got to wake up. We out here. Give me the book of Romans, chapter 13, 11. We got to wake up and come back to our biblical nationality. We was given laws, statutes, and commandments by Moses. We broke them.